Hi everyone, my name is Catherine and I'm here to talk a little bit about type 1 diabetes. Welcome to my channel, Parenting and Traveling with Type 1 Diabetic. I just wanted to really talk about my experience with type 1 diabetes. We're like 3 months in to, so we're really recently newly diagnosed. So my daughter was 9, turning 10, 2 weeks right before her birthday. I'm not sure if there is I've heard a lot of parents, oh, it's been 2 weeks before their birthday when they got diagnosed. So she got diagnosed in December, and her birthday is Christmas Eve. So imagine it was really hectic. It was Christmas. We were on a trip to New York. We went to see the Rockefeller Center, and you could see that she was pushing through, but I thought it was because she was tired. It was completely mayhem in New York City during Christmas time. So I thought it was just that. But now that I put it all, and I keep thinking about what was happening within those months, she did get a physical in August, and I pushed the doctor kind of to get them an A1C, just because I knew she was overweight and she was we were trying to do exercise, we were trying to do sports, we were spacing out the foods. So I just wanted to make sure she was, she didn't have anything else going on. They didn't really want to do the A1C because we are not diabetic, neither is any of my other children. And so at some point, she kind of gave in the doctor and completed the A1C for all of my kids. And they came back great. It wasn't pre diabetic, it was perfect. But I could see that I imagine she started having symptoms right after that, maybe in September, because um, I could see that she started losing lots of weight after September. So from September to December, I thought it was because we were exercising, spacing out the food. She looked like more grown up. She got a little skinnier. Um, well, a lot skinnier. She lost 17 pounds, and there's a lot of guilt towards that. I'm like, how did I not like notice? But I am not a nutritionist. I'm not a doctor. I wouldn't. I didn't know. So after I saw that she started losing a lot of weight, so we went to the Rockefeller Center that weekend, and then on Monday I got a call from the nurse at school saying that she had a headache. So I was like, oh, maybe she's tired because we had a really long weekend. I'll go pick her up, and I can give her Tylenol at home. But then, I was thinking back on the weekend, and she started drinking lots and lots of water. I had put 3 bottles of water in the car for the trip. It's not a very far trip. It was about 4 or 5 hours. And so an hour into the trip, she had literally chugged the 3 bottles of water. And then we ended up having to make a few stops for her to pee. But I left it at that. I was like, you have to share, you have to wait. Like, why are you so thirsty? She's like, I'm just really, really thirsty. I can't help it. I'm so sorry, like, and that was strange to me. She was drinking lots of water throughout the trip, and peeing a lot. And so we continued with the trip. We went to the Museum of Ice Cream, also in New York. So I can't even imagine what happened to her sugar there that we weren't unaware of. And so um, when we got back, you could see now in her pictures that I'll show you on this video that she looked sick. And I was just like, maybe she's just tired. She's just pushing through. It was pretty chaotic um, in New York City, as most of you guys know. Uh, but so I took it to Express Care that day. I decided to take it to Express Care after picking her up from the school, and um, they pretty much just wanted to swap her for like a virus. Maybe that's something she's coming down with something. And I was like, no, she's been drinking a lot of water. She's been peeing a lot. She's lost a lot of weight. I really want her to get a finger stick. I might think she's diabetic. And I came to that conclusion because I did have a student in the past that was diabetic, and that's how we kind of figured it out. He was peeing a lot in school. He was drinking lots of liquids, um, and so they pushed back and they said no, she doesn't have a diagnosis with that. They wouldn't finger stick her. And I was like, well, I'm not leaving till you guys finger stick her. And so they ended up giving in and finger sticking her, and she was 560, 563 at the moment. And they were kind of shocked, and they were like, we don't know how to treat it. This is urgent care. You have to go to the emergency room. So they sent her on her way, and they told us just go into the emergency room. No paperwork, nothing, just, which I think they should have called the ambulance from there and kind of sent some paperwork over. So I came home instead of going to the emergency room to kind of pack up some stuff because I imagined they were going to keep her there. Um, and by the time we got here, she hadn't even eaten breakfast. I tried finger sticking her here at home because my mom is type 2 diabetic, and um, she has a glucometer. So I tried finger sticking her, and it wouldn't, it's at high, it wouldn't even register. So she looked really lethargic, really fatigued, was just laying in the couch, and I obviously couldn't carry her back to the car. So I ended up calling the ambulance, which was really traumatic for her and for myself. And so we went on our way to they figure sticked her here, and I think it was like 7:50. So in like a matter of like 30 minutes, it went up without her eating anything. She hadn't eaten anything with me. And so they took her to the emergency room. They were trying to get her an IV, trying to do labs. They weren't able to find a vein. She was really dehydrated, even though she was drinking lots of water. And so she got poked 5 or 6 times. I ended up having to ask for an anesthesiologist team to come down because it was just so traumatic for her. It's the first time she's been to the hospital, and this is how it ends. And so they did do that. They were able to like get a line on her and get some lab work. And we sent her so they ended up sending us to Boston Children's Hospital. And we were there for a few days. The first night we ended up staying in the emergency room because the floor wouldn't accept her unless she was under 1 for her ketones, and she was extremely high. I don't remember the number, but it was definitely over 4 or 5. It was, I think she started at 7. And so she was considered stage 3 ketoacidosis per the team. And so they wanted to make sure that her levels were coming down. So we were there for like a day and a half, almost 2 days in the emergency room, and her ketones weren't budging. So at that point, they ended up um, putting her in the ICU um, so that she was able to go into a room on the floor. And it was really traumatic for me. I can say that and it was hard because she was like, Mom, I'm gonna die. I was like, you're not gonna die. You're with the best doctors in the world. You're not gonna die. But I was just crying. I was literally a wreck. All I did was cry. Because you take care of your children so much, you work so hard to keep them healthy, and I felt like I wasn't able to do that. That was pretty challenging for me. Um, And then the doctors were making sure like this wasn't your fault. This just, it's an autoimmune disease. It usually happens around this age or when they're going through puberty or 15. So they were really comforting in that sense, but I really wasn't listening to that. I was just like, this is my fault. How can I not notice this? She could have literally died if I would have told you just go, go to bed, rest, or if I wouldn't have taken her to urgent care. So I felt a lot of guilt in that sense. And they did a great job. They were able to like stabilize her. Um, But we came out of there super overwhelmed with this new diagnosis, with tons of appointments, with a lot of training, learning to count carbs, doing fractions again after, I haven't done fraction in decades. Um, so yeah, it was really overwhelming. It took a team to really get her back on track, and we are still, 3 months in. It's still hard work, making sure her school nurse is on board. She's been fantastic. I couldn't have done this without her. I feel like I can trust her with Khloe going to school. She really cares for Khloe. Khloe loves her. She goes above and beyond. If she corrects her, doesn't eat the lunch. She'll find her something that she likes to eat. Um, but it's been an overwhelming and stressful process. And to the point that now she's on the Dexcom, and I don't sleep looking at her sugars, right? We were at the point when we came back home, like if we had a newborn baby, checking her sugars every 3 hours. We were afraid she was going to go on a low. Giving so much insulin was really new for us, especially to a 9-year old at the moment. Now she's 10. Um, but it was really challenging. We were afraid that she wasn't gonna wake up or something. But she's doing great. She's taken this better, I think, than I have. Um, she's really strong. She's her preppy self. She's really creative. She's fun. But I know she's also been pretty scared at times, or is tired of being poked so much. Uh, and we are working on getting her the pump at the moment. So it's been an uphill battle with like the insurance company, also, trying to have things in place for her in school. And so those are things that I want to talk to you guys as parents with type 1 diabetes kids, or even with, teenage kids or college students, and kind of build a community that we can work together, give each other's ideas for traveling, for parenting, for counting carbs, for making healthy but tasty meals that our teens or our preteens are enjoying. Uh, so that's why I created this channel. And so if you like the content, or if you want to um, make some comments, some ideas, give me some ideas, please feel free to leave some of those suggestions in the comment. And I would really appreciate it if you subscribe to my channel and hit the like button, so that I'm able to continue to create more content. And I'm going to try really hard. I know it's overwhelming with everything happening. I also work full time, to try to put out material and shorts at least a couple of times a week for us to kind of learn from it, see what else you guys are looking to get out of the channel, and ideas. And it's just going to be more of our journey as a family, because everyone is involved, even from our little boy Nate that's 6 to our teenage daughter that's 18. Everyone is involved. Everyone helps keep Khloe on track, checking her sugars, giving her insulin. Baby Nate will say, we call him Baby Nate, but he's 6. He'll say, "Oh, Khloe, you can't eat any sugar. Your sugars are high." So he's like keeping her on track too. Um, but it's been really challenging for me to really not feel guilt. And I think a lot of the parents that I've spoken with, I think that's the first emotion that comes to us. And I'm not sure if anybody feels that way. But I do want to make a video talking about that, and kind of how to overcome those things. Um, Especially, I do a lot of work with, I've done work with individual therapy. I'm a school counselor, and I want to be able to help other parents navigate those emotions, because if I find it extremely challenging and hard, I can't even imagine what everyone is feeling out there. Um, There's a lot of anxiety attached to it, checking the numbers, looking at your phone all the time while you're at work, while you're, you sleep a little bit and you wake up in the middle of the night. The first thing you do is grab and look at the app and see where she's at. So if you like the content, please subscribe, comment, and like, and I will continue to put out some information out there around type 1 diabetes and parenting and traveling with that. All right, bye.